What is up, everybody? It's Cody with Blood Money MMA Bets, and I'm back with another full card breakdown. This is for UFC Vegas 74, Kai France versus Albazi. It's a pretty good fight card, 13 fights. It's going to be even better since we had a week off and we missed a week, so we're going to be looking forward to it. But yeah, man, it's going to be an overall good fight card. The main event's going to be good. We got a couple replacement fights. Then we got some other fights like Santos and Munuz that was canceled and then brought back. So it's going to be a good card. It's going to be a fun card. Try to get this video out early to help some people beat some line movement and all that. It's Friday right now, so give you about a week and a half, like 11 days with this video to watch it and try to help you guys with some bets. We're going to do a quick recap of UFC Vegas 73 real quick, and then we'll get into this Vegas 74 card. UFC Vegas 73. I went 3-2 on my bets for plus 2.3 units. Got that winning week. Needed that after a couple bad weeks, but I'll take that 3-2 for plus 2.3 units. We're going to do good. We're going to keep building onto that for 2023. And add up, man. The only time we're looking in the rearview mirror is to see how far we came after them last 2 weeks. So 3 winning bets, man. I had Silva under 2.5 rounds, and she dominated Leonardo. That was plus 2.5 units, and that was a super easy bet. I figured that was the way the fight was going to go. That's why I put her on so much stuff, and I was super happy when it went that way. Second winning bet was Natalia Silva with Rodrigo Nascimento for plus 3 units. Added Silva on there for some value. And then Nascimento, man, had a really good close fight. I thought he clearly won the first and third round, so I was glad to get that win. And the third winning bet was Natalia Silva with Joaquin Buckley, plus 3 units on that. I added Silva on for more value on that. And that was a good fight with Buckley, and he ended up getting that knockout in the second round. But it was a pretty good fight with Fiallo, man. They was going back and forth a little bit. And then my 2 losing bets, I had Takashi Sato minus 3.45 units. And, man, he stopped decent amount of the takedowns, had some good judo throws like I thought he would, but then, man, he just tried to transition way too quick and would get swept. And both them guys are terrible. Themba's terrible. I'm fading him in his next fight. I can't wait till he fights another dude with a half-decent guillotine, and it's game over. Second losing bet, though, was Michael Johnson. This was the difference between me winning 8 units and winning 2.3. And, man, he was winning. He looked so good them first 2 rounds. Our first round and a half, was stopping the takedowns with ease, was hitting Ferreira with good body shots, stung him to the head a couple times, and then just got hit with that crazy overhand right, man. Just like Josh Emmett hit him with. So that sucked. But minus 2.75 units on that. So I have 3-2 for plus 2.3 units. Official bet record is 227 and 164 for plus 79.5 units. 2023 record is 48 and 39 for plus 2.2 units. Was having a decent year, was up about 24 units, into them last 2 weeks, but we're going to add on to it. Like I said, we ain't looking back. We're only going forward. I'm in this off week. I've thought about some stuff. I've made a few little adjustments in my betting strategy, and it's going to be back on, man. We're going to win this for sure. So, let's see. So, 1 second. All right. Before we get into all that, though, I just want to say, everybody, please hit that like and subscribe button for me to help the algorithm. Leave me a comment, whether you like the video or not, to help the algorithm. Discord, the Layer Cake Discord is up and running, dude. It's awesome. We got people. We talk on there all the time. There's a ton of sharp people on there. I got my boy Saba always dropping the MMA news, man. He drops all as soon as somebody drops the news, he's dropping it on there. We got my boy Gwanerica 84 with the excellent soccer bets, man. He's from Ireland. He knows his soccer. He's really good at it, and I appreciate all the time and effort that he puts in. And then we got my boy Dean on the tennis, dude. He's been dropping winning tennis bets for months now, but he's been really killing it. And he said the French Open is coming up next week and starting like this week, and he's going to kill that. So get on there. It's free. And then also, as always, for like the last 3 weeks at least, Nikki and her husband, Chef Mike, have been killing MMA. I mean, killing it, winning like $800-900 each week. So they've been killing it. I appreciate them for always commenting on there and keeping the Discord just popping and firing. So Layer Cake Discord, link's going to be in the description. It's free. Go on there. Hang out, have a good time. I'm going to have a really nice giveaway that's exclusive to the Discord/Patreon. Everybody in the Discord is going to have a chance to win it. Speaking of that, I'm going to have a giveaway this week. I found some shirts when I was cleaning out my closet. So I found some Blood Money shirts, but it's the only size I have are extra large. I'm going to be giving away this extra large this week. If you win it, it's too big, give it away to somebody or something. But it's a really nice shirt, nice thick shirt. So drop your best 3-fight parlay with the odds that it pays, and whoever hits that 3-fight parlay and dropped it first with the best odds is going to win. If there's a tiebreaker, we'll go to whoever dropped it first. But so drop your best 3-fight parlay with the odds it pays. Whoever hits it, you're going to get that shirt. I'm going to send it to you. Hit me up on Twitter or Instagram. All right, let's get into this UFC Vegas 74 card. And as you guys know, man, my stuff's always out of order, but it is what it is. John Castaneda versus Muin Gafurov. This is going to be a good fight. It's a really short notice replacement fight. John Castaneda was supposed to be fighting. I can't even remember who he. Let's see here real quick. I was just looking. I just did the tape study for this, but he was supposed to fight. Mateus Mendoza, and it got canceled for this. But John Castaneda is 19-6, 31 years old. I haven't seen a line for this yet. Muin is 18-4, 27 years old, 5'7" with the 80-inch reach. So you see Muin's going to be 1 inch taller. Castaneda will have 1 inch of reach. John Castaneda, man, this dude's good. He's got a Division II college wrestling background. He's got really good striking. He's got excellent southpaw striking, carries good power in his hands. You've seen against like Miles Johns where he was able to beat him up, hit him with some flying knees, stop the wrestling, and then was able to choke him out in the third round when Miles Johns slowed down a little bit. Had a good fight with Daniel Santos, who we're going to be talking about coming up. He dropped him. He hurt him so bad, like 2-3 times in the first round, went for the finish, gassed himself out a little bit. And Daniel Santos is a savage, man, was taking that beating, showed good toughness, good cardio and all that, and was able to come back and get the finish in the second on a gassed out Castaneda. Knocked out Eddie Wineland, had a really good fight on short notice with Nathaniel Wood. Knocked out arm triangle with Marcelo Rojo too. I feel like his striking is better than his wrestling and grappling, but they're all good. But he beats people up on the feet, and that's why he's getting these triangle chokes and submissions, because he's beating them up on the feet and then taking them down and just submitting them. But I like him, man. He's got really good forward pressure. He knows how to fight these wrestler dudes. He's got really good forward pressure. He's got really good striking, really good movement. He's got good power. He's got a sick left head kick, and he's going to be using all that here. I think he's going to be able to use his wrestling to keep it standing and make it a good fight. But the guy he's fighting is super tough, man. Muin, he's coming in, like I said, on short notice. You might have seen him fight on the when he fought on the Contender Series, and he fought Chad Anheliger and went to split decision and lost. But that was a really good fight, back and forth fight. And then he's had some other good wins, man. This Herbert Souza dude, who was 15-1, he was able to stop the wrestling of him and his jiu-jitsu, land some wrestling of his own, and then drop him with that overhand right 2 different times, once in the first, and then dropped him and finished him in the second. Had a pretty good fight with this Diego Silva, but man, he's just so well-rounded that he's able to out-grapple these Brazilian jiu-jitsu dudes, and then he's able to out-strike them too. He's had some lower level fights, I mean, he was fighting 0-0, 12-9, 0-0, 1-1, 0-1. When he stepped up earlier in his career in 2016, which, 7 years ago, he had some difficulty and ran into some losses. But since then, he's been looking pretty good. He got beat down by John Lineker, but a lot of people do that. But I do really like his style. I like that he's well-rounded. He's got good striking. But in this fight, I'm definitely going to take Castaneda full camp. I believe he's going to have the wrestling to keep this fight standing, where he can put on a forward pressure pace where he can wear on Muin, because he kind of slowed down in that fight on the Contender Series with Anheliger, and that's why Anheliger was able to pull away in the third round. But yeah, man, I think that Castaneda, full camp, tons of UFC experience, is going to be able to keep this fight standing, where he'll be able to land some big shots. I don't think he gets the finish, because Muin's never been finished. He's got 4 losses, but they're all by decision. But it's going to be a really good fight, and I can't wait for that. But I'm gonna look for the line, and I'm gonna be going with Castaneda on that. Next fight is in the men's 135-pound division. We got Daniel Santos versus Jihn Munuz Jr. Let me see this. Okay, so I don't even know if I'm going to be using this Tapology no more. When I look in the back, man, it's just so little. Like, I don't even think you guys can see it. I might just start using it where you can just see me, and I'll just explain it like I used to do it. But we'll finish it this way for this fight card. This fight, Daniel Santos versus Jihn Munuz Jr., they were supposed to fight 2 weeks ago, and the fight got canceled because Daniel Santos had to pull out, but it wasn't nothing major, so they ended up rescheduling it. Daniel Santos, man, 10-2. Currently sit at -200. He's 28 years old, 5'7" with a 67-inch reach. Jihn Munuz Jr. is 12-2, 30 years old, 5'9" with the 71-inch reach. So you see Munuz will be 2 inches taller with 4 inches of reach here. Daniel Santos, man, this dude is freaking good. I just like his style. He comes out of Shudo box with Charles Oliveira and all them dudes. And he's just got an excellent Muay Thai style where he's coming forward at all times. He throws crazy power in his right hand. He's got excellent spinning kicks to the body. He's constantly throwing powerful body kicks, really nice scrambles, good offensive and defensive wrestling. And he's got a nice black belt in jiu-jitsu, which is going to help him here, man. Powerful right hand, excellent Muay Thai, and he's got excellent forward pressure, pace, and cardio. Excellent toughness, because you've seen against John Castaneda, he was able to come back from he got hit hard a lot, got dropped like 3 times, 2 left head kicks straight to the head, was able to recover and come back and get that win. That's a really good win. Johnny Munuz Jr., man, he's a jiu-jitsu guy. He's got decent wrestling himself. He's got really good jiu-jitsu, good black belt in jiu-jitsu, but it's going to be a problem because Santos is a high-level black belt in jiu-jitsu too. But Munuz has decent striking. He throws a lot of volume. He's got a pretty good jab, nice 1-2, excellent cardio and pace himself. He throws a ton of volume, and he's a pretty good fighter. But I just think in this fight, man, that it's going to be tough for him, because I think he's going to need to get this fight to the ground. But even if he gets it to the ground, I don't think he's going to be able to keep it on the ground. And Santos, like I said, has good offensive and defensive wrestling himself, and he's got a slick BJJ black belt himself. And then on the feet, I just think Santos is going to be better, man. I think he's going to be throwing power body kicks. I think he throws way harder on the feet, because Munuz, unless he can get you down and submit you, he's just not a dangerous guy, man. He's just not dangerous. So give me Daniel Santos, and I'm going to take him just kind of like the Castaneda fight, man, by a 2nd or 3rd round finish. I think the first round's tough, back and forth, some grappling. I think Munuz is going to want to grapple a lot, because I don't think he's going to want to stay on the feet with the pressure Santos is bringing to the power. So give me Santos, man. I think it's a really good fight. I think they go back and forth, but I think that in that first round, I think Santos starts taking over with body work, power punches, and maybe even can land some takedowns of his own and get some ground and pound. But I think he gets Munuz out of there in that 2nd or 3rd round. Next fight is in the men's heavyweight division. We got Andrei Arvloski versus Dante Almaze. Andrei Arvloski is 34-21. He's currently sitting at -115, 44 years old, 6'3" with the 77-inch reach. Dante Almaze is 9-5. He's currently sitting at -105, but I believe he's a favorite now. I believe he's -120 and Arvloski's -110. 31 years old, so he's 13 years younger, 6'6" with the 81-inch reach. So he's going to be 3 inches taller with a 4-inch reach advantage. God, this is a dumpster barrel fight, man. You got Arvloski, who's 44 years old. You don't know what you're going to get with him, man. He's got good kickboxing. He's getting slower as he gets older. He got his chin checked finally again against De Lima, his last fight. And it hadn't happened since Tom Aspinall. He was doing pretty good, but he wasn't fighting power punchers. Chase Sherman, Carlos Philipe, Jared Vanderaa, Jake Collier, bottom of the barrel of the heavyweight division. But when he fought, he's been finished in his last 3 losses, including, the Jared Zeno knockout with the counter left hook that was sick. But against like Jake Collier, Vanderaa, he's beating these lower level heavyweights where he's able to use volume, a little bit of movement, and then he counters these dudes with really big shots early on in the fight, and it makes these guys with like Carlos Felipe, Collier, and Vanderaa that usually have a ton of volume. They slow down. They don't throw as much volume because they're worried about getting countered real big, and it just turns into a big boring fight. But like I said, man, that last fight against Marcos Rogério de Lima, who is a beast, he got cracked in that fight and got submitted pretty quick. But yeah, he's been getting, like, Tom Aspinall cracked him, then took him down. But he was doing okay against Aspinall, in that first round. But yeah, man, Arvloski, kickboxing, slow, decent offensive and defensive wrestling. Basically just likes to counter guys with the big overhand right. Like I said, slows them down, and then he'll go to split decision. Dante Almaze. Yeah, man, he's just not really good. He didn't look good in his last fight against Sakai. He might be able to do a little better here, man. He's actually got decent striking. Where he'll throw some volume, pretty good movement for a big guy. He can throw with power sometimes, he can do some flying stuff, flying knees and stuff. He's got decent offensive and defensive grappling. He can out wrestle these lower level heavyweights, but then, you see he couldn't do nothing against Sakai and guys like that, even Hamdi. So was able to take down Josh Parisian and beat him up, but he's 2-3 in the UFC, and his 2 wins are over guys that 1 ain't in the UFC no more, and 1's probably on his way out. But Yeah, man. Decent kickboxing, Muay Thai, decent offensive and defensive grappling. This fight is going to be a terrible fight. I'm going to pick Don'Tale Mayes actually to win this terrible fight just because I think with his size, that's going to help Andrei Arvloski, going to be pushing him up against the fence or taking him down. I think Don'Tale Mayes is going to be a lot faster, and I think he's going to be throw way more volume. Which I think you should just throw your money away if you're going to bet on this fight because it's really not a good fight to bet on because both them guys there's so many variables in that terrible fight. You can probably bet it going to distance. I don't see Mayes knocking out Arvloski, but sheesh, man, that's a terrible fight. Next fight is in the men's light heavyweight division. This should be a decent fight right here. We got Maxim Grishen versus Philipe Lins. Maxim Grisham's 32-9-2, currently sitting at minus 130 or 140. He's 39 years old, 6'3" with a 76-inch reach. Philipe Lins, 16-5, currently sitting at plus 120. He's 37 years old, 6'2" with a 78-inch reach. So they're about the same. Maxim Grishen, 2 years older. You see Grisham's 1 inch taller, but Philipe Lins has 2 inches of reach. Maxim Grishen, man, good fighter, well-rounded fighter. He hasn't fought in a little while for being 39. He hasn't fought since he fought William Knight about 16 months ago, and that was a pretty lackluster fight. William Knight did his usual thing where he didn't throw any volume whatsoever. He landed like one takedown and just stood there and ate leg kicks and stuff. And then he looked decent against Jacoby, was able to hurt him in the first round, but just slowed down from leg kicks and just being tired. And Jacoby worked him in the second 2 rounds. I really like Grishen. I like his striking. He's got good kickboxing. He's pretty powerful kickboxing. I mean, he hasn't really been finishing anybody in the UFC at the UFC level. But before he got in the UFC, he had a couple wins. He decisioned. Everybody knocks out Antigulov, but he had a couple decision wins over in the PFL, and then he got had a couple finishes too, over some lower level guys. But I really do like Maxim Grisham's powerful leg and body kicks. He has fast, powerful head kicks, good with both legs. Has pretty good boxing with some power, and he has pretty good offensive and defensive takedown defense. But if he's taken down, he can be held down. Maxim up at heavyweight on short notice came and fought Marcin Tybura and was able to be held down. But he moves good for a big man. He's got pretty good footwork. Philipe Lins, man, came to the UFC after winning the money in the PFL, winning $1 million, and did not look good up at heavyweight. He looked out of shape. He looked slow, and he paid for it, man. He got beat in a slow fight with Andrei Arvloski. That was about 3 years ago, so Arvloski was still doing decent. And then he got knocked out by Tanner Boser, who was just, faster and hit him with harder shots when he was out of shape. He had a lot of canceled fights, but then he's come back and looked good at light heavyweight. Since he's dropped back down, man, he's in really good shape. Marcin Prachniow, that fight was really good. And I'm higher on Prachniow than a lot of people are because if he doesn't get knocked out, he's a really tough fighter. That fight's really, really tough. Hits hard, has decent offensive and defensive grappling and all that. And that was a good back and forth fight. And then showed a lot of toughness, showed a lot of cardio, man, where both of them put on a really, really crazy pace. And he was able to hold up and out cardio Prachniow in that 3rd round to get the win. But he was landing takedowns. He was landing big shots on Prachniow. He ate some big shots from Prachniow. He ate some big leg kicks and looked really good. Then he comes back against Ovin St. Preux and knocks him out with a overhand right. So he has power in both hands. He has good boxing. He has good wrestling. He has a black belt in BJJ. Fast and powerful at 205, and I like the pace he pushes at 205 in the cardio and the volume. So I'm actually going to take Philipe Lins, man. I think his striking is just as good as Maxim Grishen, and I think he throws a little bit more volume. I think he's going to have better cardio, and I think he has the grappling advantage. So I really like Philipe Lins. I think it's going to be a really good fight, but give me Philipe Lins to get the decision. I don't see no finish here, like nothing like the Ovin St. Preux, but I do think that he can get the decision. Next fight is in the men's 175 or 170 pound division. We got Elizue Zaleski dos Santos versus Abubakar Nurmagomedov. Zaleski, man, I like this dude. He's tough. He's 23-7, currently sitting at minus 120, 36 years old, 5'11 with a 73-inch reach. Nurmagomedov is 17-3-1. He's currently sitting at plus 110, 33 years old, 5'11 with the 73-inch reach. So you see these guys are pretty much identical. Zaleski's 3 years older, but the height and reach is all the same. Dude, Zaleski dos Santos, I like his capoeira striking, man. He uses that mixed in with some really good kickboxing techniques. Good spinning stuff. He has crazy flying knees, crazy spin kicks, crazy spinning elbows, spinning back fists, good offensive and defensive wrestling. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. He has really good knees, step-in knees, knees up the middle, powerful body and leg kicks. Like, he's really good. The thing is he hasn't fought in about 16 months. So 2022. Yeah, he hasn't fought in like about 18 months, actually, a year and a half or a little more. So I don't know what that's about, but I did go look on his Instagram and he seems to be in great shape. I didn't see no surgeries or nothing. So, and as you know, he looked crazy good against Benoit Saint Denis. I went back and watched the Muslim Salikov fight and he won that fight. I don't know how Salikov won that fight. He was hurting Salikov. I thought he clearly won that fight. And then could be on a huge streak. He had that tough fight against Jing Liang in China, and it was at a weird time. It was at like 3 in the morning when they were fighting, and it was just weird. But Jing Liang did his thing in that fight. But I'm really high on Zaleski, man. I think he's super well rounded. I think his boxing is crisp with excellent power. He's got really good offensive and defensive wrestling, and he's powerful, man. He KOs guys. He's finished. My internet's slowing up. If it slows up on this topology, I'm just going to get rid of it. But yeah, man, he's finished 17 of his 23 wins. So dude's a finisher, man. And most of them are by KO. He's got 14 KOs and 3 submission wins. But yeah, this is going to be a super good fight because we know Nurmagomedov, man. He's got decent striking. He's got a good, crisp jab. That's what he was using on Jared Gooden to get that win. And that was a pretty close fight. Like I said, he's from Dagestan, so he's got that wrestling, but it's not as good as these other Dagestan guys. Like, he's not taking dudes down easily and just holding them down and beating them up. He had a decent fight with Mari Gadziev, but that guy is terrible, man. He was able to land his takedowns there and work some jiu-jitsu, but Amari had a couple good points against him or whatever. But yeah, he looked decent against Jared Gooden. He wasn't able to take Gooden down, which is surprising, but he did outstrike him with a nice jab and just grappled him against the fence a little bit. But then when you really look at it, when you're watching him fight like David Zawada, triangle choked in the first round. He got rear naked choked by Pavel Kush. And he hasn't really fought anybody good and beat anybody good. If you go look, Jared Gooden is his best win. Jared Gooden is his best win by far. Zaleski's been out here beating a whole lot of people, man. And I think in this fight, Abubakar is not going to be able to get his wrestling going. We've seen Zaleski wrestle against a lot of good wrestlers. Or at least, people that have tried. Benoit Saint Denis tried, and he's a really good wrestler. Jing Liang, a bunch of people. But Zaleski has good offensive wrestling himself. Like I said, he's a high-level black belt in jiu-jitsu. So I just think that he's more well-rounded. He's way more dangerous. And I think when he keeps this fight standing, he's going to be able to hit Abubakar with some – and he's got good cardio too. And Abubakar does not have good cardio. I think that Zaleski's going to hit him with something to finish this dude. Either club and sub, or just club, man. But I really, really, really like Zaleski here. I'm just seeing where the line goes, man, because then Zaleski was a pretty big favorite. And now it's going to like Abubakar might become the favorite. So we'll see where that goes. We'll follow it and see. But I really like Zaleski. If he's 85% of what he used to be, he'll beat the worst Nurmagomedov there is. So maybe behind Saeed. I don't know. We'll have to see. I think Saeed's actually better. Next fight is in the men's bantamweight division. We got Luan Lecerda versus Damon Blackshear. Luan Lecerda is 12-2. Currently sitting at minus 130. He's 30 years old, 5'7" with a 73-inch reach. Damon Blackshear, 12-5-1, 28 years old, 5'10" with a 72-inch reach. So you see Blackshear's 3 inches taller, but Luan actually has 1 inch of reach. About the same age. Everything's pretty much the same. Luan Lecerda, man, this guy is a jiu-jitsu black belt, man. He's an ace in jiu-jitsu. You see he's got 12 wins, and he has 10 submissions and 2 decisions. His striking's okay. He's got decent boxing. He's got decent kicks, decent powerful body kicks. He was hitting Cody Stamann with a lot of powerful body kicks, but he's not like, he's definitely a jiu-jitsu guy. He's definitely not a full striker, but he does train at a Muay Thai camp, so he's got a decent Muay Thai jiu-jitsu camp. It's a jiu-jitsu, but he does have Muay. Man, my internet is messing up. But he shows decent striking, but he really doesn't have the best striking. And then he's got phenomenal jiu-jitsu. Like I said, crazy black belt, excellent sweeps, really, really good submissions, man. Look, you see him just submit heel hook, rear naked choke. I watched him fight this guy where he couldn't get the dude down. And when finally he was able to pull guard on the guy, then he just swept him within like 8 seconds. Was able to take the back and submit him. Man, he is really, really, really high level on the ground, but he does not have the wrestling to get it there. And then on the feet, he's just 1-2s and powerful body kicks. Damon Blackshear, I like this dude. He's had a tough go in the UFC. Came in on super short notice, fought Yusuf Zalal to a draw. And it was a pretty good fight. And then you got Farid Basharat, man. That's a tough fight for anybody. That's Javid's brother. And it was a really good fight. It was back and forth. He actually won a round. I thought he won the first round. It was the other 2 rounds were pretty close. And then in the third, Basharat took over and he was able to get the victory. Man, this is going to be a really good fight because Damon has really good defense, really good submissions. He's got 8 submission wins himself. He's got really good jiu-jitsu. It's really active. So even if he goes on the ground and gets taken to the ground, I'm not sure he's going to get submitted right away. But I don't know if Luan Lecerda can get this fight to the ground because Damon Blackshear shown pretty good wrestling, man. Even against Basharat, he showed good wrestling. He was able to land some takedowns there, and Basharat has really good takedown defense. Like I said, he's got excellent jiu-jitsu, and in the striking, he's got better kickboxing to me. He's faster, and he throws with more power, in my opinion. I'm taking Damon Blackshear here, man. I think that he can stop any takedowns that come, and I think that he can even land some of his own if he wants to, if he thinks he has good enough jiu-jitsu to stay safe, which he does. He has a really good jiu-jitsu. So give me Blackshear, man. I think he's going to throw more volume. I think he hits harder on the feet, and then I think that he can control where the fight takes place. So, yeah, man, give me Blackshear. Give me him by decision. I don't see him submitting or knocking out Lecerda. But give me him by decision. I like him. I like his little height advantage and stuff, too. Next fight is in the women's strawweight division. We got Jihn Frey versus Elise Reed. Jihn Frey is 11-8, currently, currently sitting at plus 110. 1 second. I gotta mute this when I drink. Somebody got mad at me. It's hard out here though, talking like that for this long, this straight. Jihn Frey, 11-8, currently sitting at plus 110, 38 years old, 5'3" with a 65-inch reach. Elise Reed is 6-3, currently sitting at minus 120. 30 years old, 5'3" with a 63-inch reach. So you see they're about the same size. Jihn Frey is going to have 2 inches of reach on her. Jihn Frey, 8 years older, which you have to take into account here. Jihn Frey, dude, decent striking. Like she has decent Taekwondo background striking. She blitzes in with punches and with throwing like a 4-punch combo. But she's not powerful at all. She's not dangerous at all. Seen her get knocked out really bad against Polyana Viana, her last fight, just ate some shots and went out and then hammer fist to sleep. And then against Vanessa Demopoulos, we know now Demopoulos is better, but I thought she won that fight, but it was really, 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 really close fight, and she couldn't pull away in any of the rounds to clearly get the win in that fight. But decent offensive and defensive wrestling and decent jiu-jitsu. Good striking, like I said, Taekwondo, blitzes in with their punches, and we'll throw some decent kicks too, but really only boxes. She'll throw a nice double jab to the straight right, but overall not that great, really. That's why she's 11-8. Elise Reed, man, she's got another Taekwondo background too. Really fast Taekwondo striking. You've seen against Corey McKenna where she was able to keep the fight standing and beat her up standing up with blitzing in strikes, with the blitzing in punches, the powerful leg kicks, good head kicks. She got good power in her hands. You've seen against Melissa Martinez where she was able to drop her in the first round with some nice punches. She's got she's got good powerful leg and body kicks. She has real power, like I said, in her right hand, dropping dropping Martinez, hitting McKenna with some big shots. But her wrestling defense is definitely her kryptonite. She doesn't have the best jiu-jitsu. Like against Loma, she was actually able to reverse a takedown and land up on top in the first round, and actually won the first round, in my opinion, against Loma, and was looking pretty decent in the striking, but then was taken down and choked out quickly after in the second round because her ground game is not that good. Both these girls got pretty good striking. I'm going to say that Elise Reed, with her movement and her youth and speed, is going to be able to keep this fight standing against Frey, because I don't think Elise Reed grappling is that bad. It's just that, like, when she fought Sam Hughes, she came in on a short notice, and then Sam Hughes was just a little bigger and just had a great gas tank. But I think Elise Reed has way better striking than Jihn Frey, and way better movement and way better power. And with Jihn Frey just getting knocked out recently, that could happen again. Or Elise Reed could just pick her apart from distance, man. So I'm taking Elise Reed in this fight. Ain't gonna bet nothing, I got some new rules, and I'm staying away from low-level women's MMA, and a couple other rules I got that are going to keep me winning money and go back to my 9-10 fight win streak like I was doing before. Next fight is in the men's 155-pound division. We got Guram Kutateadze versus Jamie Mullarkey. Guram is 12-3, currently sitting at -320. He's 31 years old, 5'11" with a 72-inch reach. Jamie Mullarkey, 16-5, currently sitting at +260. 28 years old, 6 foot with a 74-inch reach. So you see Mullarkey have an inch of reach or an inch of height and 2 inches of reach, but they're pretty much the same size, man. Guram, I love this dude. Well-rounded, freaking Georgian warrior, dude. Phenomenal leg kicks, phenomenal powerful body kicks. You've seen against like Gamrot, man, he was hitting him with some powerful body kicks, powerful leg kicks. He's got excellent offensive and defensive wrestling. He's got pretty good punches. They're not as good as his kicks, though, I will say that. But he's got excellent BJJ, man. He's got really slick BJJ. Even when Gamrot was able to take him down, he was able to roll for legs and he moves so much and just gets back up. Like no one's taking him down and holding him down. Even against Ismagulov, I rewatched that fight. I thought he won that fight. He kind of slowed down in the third round in that fight, but same thing with the Gamrot fight. Both of them in the third round, he kind of slowed down. I think that's why it made the fights closer than they needed to be. But dude's tough, man. He's well-rounded. He's a Georgian warrior. He trains with Kamzat. He's got really, like I said, really good offensive, defensive wrestling, excellent kickboxing, super tough, super powerful, super mentally strong, and he's got a lot of finishes. You know, I think this dude he's got 7 KO, 1 submission. I think he can KO Jamie Mullarkey. Even though Jamie Mullarkey is super tough, he's got good striking himself. He's got good boxing with power. He throws good combinations. You've seen him drop Michael Johnson. He's got good if he can get guys up against the cage and the clinch, man, he can put a working on him. You've seen him do that against Devonta Smith in a really good back and forth fight until he started taking over in that second round. He got hurt a couple times in it, and he threw a beating on Devonta Smith. Same thing with Kama Worthy, was able to get him out of there with a crisp left hook. He's got KO power in both hands. He was dropping Michael Johnson with right hands, but you've seen against like when he steps up in competition a little bit against like Jalen Turner, man, he took a beating there. This fight right here was really telling to me with Firas Ziam because he was getting losing the stand-up battle there, and then when he was taking Firas down, he wasn't doing nothing with it, and Firas was even able to sweep him and keep the fight standing, and I'm not that high on Firas Ziam. But this should be a good fight because Jamie Mullarkey is tough, man. He does have good boxing combos. He does throw with power. He's got good offensive and defensive wrestling, but I just think Kutateadze is going to be better everywhere. I think he has better wrestling. I think he can easily land takedowns in this fight. I think his jiu-jitsu is better, and I think that he can land some good ground and pound. And then I think he has better striking, man. I think he has powerful leg kicks, powerful body kicks. So I think that he can get him out of here with ground and pound or like a liver shot. So give me Guram. I think that he's able to dominate this fight. He's got to play safe, man. You really can't go out there with Jamie Mullarkey and just get wild because he really does have some power. He's experienced and he's tough. But I think Guram is better everywhere. Next fight is in the women's flyweight division. We got Karine Killer Silva versus Ketlen Souza. Karine Silva is 15-4, currently sitting at -200. She's 5'5" with a 67-inch reach. Ketlen Souza is 13-3, currently sitting at +140. She's 27 years old. She's 5'3", and she has a 64-inch reach. So Karine Silva is going to be 2 inches taller with 3 inches of reach. And this is going to be a good fight because Ketlen Souza is tough as hell. But Karine Silva, man, she's got pretty good kickboxing. She throws pretty good kicks with decent power, left body kick, left head kick. She's got good power in her hands. You've seen against Poliana Botella, she was able to hit her with a giant overhand right, which stunned her, and then she shot in directly after the punch, landed up on top, and was able to sink in that Darce choke. She is a flyweight women's fighter, and she has 15 wins and 15 finishes, 8 KO, 7 submissions. She's dangerous standing, and she's dangerous on the ground. Well, she's dangerous standing and she's dangerous on the ground. She's been submitted and finished 3 of her 4 losses too. She's been finished by some knee bars and an arm bar. So when she's going for her submissions, she's very, very aggressive with it, and she can get caught in her own. But she had a tough fight on the Contender Series against the Chinese wrestler girl that was really tough and was taking her down over and over. And then in the second round, the girl started slowing down a little bit, took a sloppy shot, and Karine did what she did, finished her with a guillotine choke. I really like her, man. I think she's aggressive. I think that she's a finisher. She's super dangerous, standing or on the ground. Ketlen Souza, man, this girl's like little Jessica Andrade. That's what she reminds me of in her looks and in her fighting style. She has real KO power in that overhand right, man. She throws bombs. She really does. She'll chuck them up there. She's got good leg kicks. She's got good movement. She's got okay offensive wrestling and jiu-jitsu, but she has kind of bad takedown defense, to be honest. Christina Williams was able to take her down 2 or 3 times. This was a 5-round fight, and she was able to control her for a lot of that fight when she got her down. But she definitely wants to keep the fight standing. She has power in both hands. She has good, powerful leg kicks. She just won the title in the LFA before she came over here. And this is going to be a really good fight. If this fight stays standing the whole 3 rounds, then I would take Ketlen Souza there, to be honest. She has pretty good striking. But with what I've seen with her getting taken down in her last fight, I really do think I watched Karine Silva, who has good wrestling herself, an excellent BJJ. I think she will be able to get her down. I think she will be able to impose her game, and I think she does get Ketlen Souza out of there. Ketlen Souza has been finished in all 3 of her losses, and 2 of them are submission losses. And I think this is going to be her 3rd one. Carlos got her with a body kick, actually one's a submission loss, 2 are KO, my bad. But yeah, man, I really do like Karine Killer Silva to get the win here. And Ketlen Souza's coming in on short notice. It's not crazy short notice, but it's only a couple of weeks. But Silva was supposed to fight Caceres a couple of weeks ago, and she fell out because of weight cutting issues. Next fight is in the men's 125-pound division. We got Tim Elliott versus Victor Altamirano. Tim Elliott is 18-12-1, currently sitting at -175. He's 36 years old, 5'7" with a 67-inch reach. Victor Altamirano is 12-2. He's currently sitting at +140. 32 years old, 5'8" with a 70.5-inch reach. So you see, it's weird. I didn't think Victor Altamirano looks that big, but he's actually a big flyweight. He's going to be 1 inch taller with 3.5 inches of reach. Tim Elliott, man, great striker with this awkward striking. He can switch stances and strike out of either stance, boxing or kicks. Great wrestling, really good jiu-jitsu. Pushes a high pace. Sometimes he pays for it himself with his cardio, and he can get finished later in fights. But well-rounded fighter, man. He's a vet. He's been fighting forever. He's got a lot of good wins in the UFC. He's fought Demetrius Johnson for a title. He's 36 years old now. And one of my biggest problems with him is he posted on Twitter a week ago that his wife, Gina Mazzani, was cheating on him with Kevin Kroom, one of his best friends. And I just don't know where his mind state's going to be after that. I will tell you this. I looked on his Instagram and stuff, and the dude is in great shape, man. He really is in great shape. And I'm pulling for him in this fight. So I don't know if it's going to be the divorce thing like Mackenzie Dern, where she became like a mythical fighter and just fought like crazy, or is he going to be mentally messed up, hasn't been training and eating as good as he'd like, and that kind of stuff, man. You got Victor Altamirano here. Super well-rounded fighter, man. You seen in his last fight, it was back and forth with Vicenia Salvador, but that dude's a crazy dude that fights at a crazy pace, always throwing power. But he had a good win there. He had that nice ground and pound win against Daniel Lecerda, where he got hurt really bad early on in that fight and fought back to get that vicious victory in the first round. Had the split decision loss, Carlos Hernandez. I thought he won that fight. That was his first fight in the UFC. But he's got pretty good awkward striking. Like he throws a ton of volume. He's got good leg kicks. He's got decent wrestling. He's got a good get-up game if he is taken down. He's got decent spinning back fists, really good ground and pound elbows, like I said, you've seen against Lecerda. And he's got good offensive wrestling because he was taking Salvador down, and that was one of the ways that helped him win that fight. He's got really good cardio and really good pace, man. And this is going to be a really good fight. I'm taking Tim Elliott. I don't like the divorce stuff, but I am taking Tim Elliott because I do think that he's going to have better striking than Victor Altamirano, and I think he's going to have the better grappling. So give me Tim Elliott as long as he don't gas out. But usually Victor Altamirano isn't the biggest finisher. I know against Daniel Lecerda, but everybody finishes him. But I'm going to take Tim Elliott, man, to just use the veteran cheating moves like he did against Tigir, who I had a bet on, where Tim Elliott kicked him in the nuts, poked him in the eyes, grabbed his glove. He literally oil checked him twice. He did everything he could do, but good for him, man. So give me Tim Elliott. Give me Tim Elliott by decision. He is not the biggest finisher. Next fight is in the men's lightweight division, and this is a short notice fight too. where Jared Gordon is filling in against Jim Miller. Jim Miller, 35-17, currently sitting at plus two. He's sitting at about plus 180 right now. Jared Gordon's minus 200. 39 years old, 5'8" with a 71-inch reach. Jared Gordon, 19-6, currently sitting at minus 200. 34 years old, 5'9" with a 68-inch reach. So you see, Gordon will be 1 inch taller, but Miller will have 3 inches of reach. Jim Miller, dude, well-rounded vet, man. You know you've had to see this dude fight. Well-rounded vet. He has really good striking. He has excellent power in that left hand. He knocked out Nicholas Moto with that left hook. Was able to drop Gonzalez and then finish him with the overhand left. Or he hit Moto with the right hook, hit Gonzalez with the overhand left. But he does have a sick left hook. He's got 6 submissions. Let's see. He's finished 25 of his 35 wins. A lot of submissions, but he does have power in his hands. Showed a good fight against Alexander Hernandez, and I thought he could have won that fight. I thought he won the first round, and the third round was really close, and he actually took Hernandez's back and almost got a sub at the end of the third round. But really good fight. Alexander Hernandez, tough. He's a real athlete. But yeah, man, Jim Miller, nice power in both hands. He's got nice, powerful body kicks. He's got decent offensive and defensive wrestling, and he's a high-level black belt in jiu-jitsu. So Jared Gordon, he's a high-level black belt in jiu-jitsu too. But Gordon just fought against Bobby Green. It's going to be, I think, by the time he fights, it's going to be like a month and a half. And he was knocked out cold. He was headbutted, went to the ground. Bobby Green followed it up with ground and pound and put him out cold for a second. And that was a month ago. So it'll be about a month and a half. By the time they fight, it'll be about a month and a half, you know, and he was knocked out cold. And I don't like that because Jared Gordon's already been known to be chinny. He's already been knocked out in I think 4 of his other fights. He got knocked out by Charles Oliveira, knocked out by Joaquim Silva, Diego Ferreira, Jeff Lentz. You know what I mean? All of his losses are by finish, and or maybe he has 1 decision loss. Yeah, he's 1 decision loss, but all of his losses, 5 of them are by finish, 4 by KO, and it could have been 5 with the Bobby Green one. But man, I don't like his head coming back. Like I said, I think Jared Gordon is the better fighter, just because he's younger. He's going to have the better cardio. I think he has the wrestling to keep it standing. He may even be able to land some takedowns later in the fight as Jim Miller starts gassing, but I can't bet him. I'm going to pick Jared Gordon to win by decision, but I cannot bet him because I don't know where his chin's going to be. And Jim, this is short notice for Gordon, and Jim Miller hits really hard, and he's a crafty veteran. All it's going to take is 1 shot. Jared Gordon was knocked out cold 1 month ago, and it would be 1.5 months by the time they fight. So I would just stay away from that fight, to be honest, because I don't know if I like the over under Jared Gordon, Jim Miller, or what. Might just want to watch that as a fan. Next fight is in the men's featherweight division. We got Alex Caceres versus Daniel Pineda. Alex Caceres is 20-13, currently sitting at minus 175. 34 years old, 5'10" with a 73-inch reach. Daniel Pineda, 28-14, currently sitting at plus 145. He's 37 years old, 5'7" with a 70-inch reach. So Alex Caceres is going to be 3 inches taller with 3.5 inches of reach. Bruce Leroy, man. Awkward karate striking. You see in his last fight, he was able to get that knockout over Julian Erosa. Hit him basically with the same thing that Leon Edwards hit Kamaru with, just not as clean looking. But fast southpaw kickboxing, man. Excellent. His offensive and defensive grappling is greatly improved. It used to be his kryptonite, and now it's improved, and it looks good, man. He's got excellent counter punches. He's got a fast left hook. He's got really nice variety of body kicks, head kicks. He's, like I said, the Erosa kick. You've seen good body kicks. He's opportunistic with his finishes, with the subs lately, like against Sung Woo Choi. He was getting completely beat up that fight, was able to dodge a punch, slipped under it, took the back, and was able to choke him out about 10 seconds later. Had a really tough fight against Sodiq Youssef. Sodiq definitely won, but it was back and forth, and Sodiq is really, really good. You see he's out here having grappling matches. He might not be winning, but he's out here having grappling matches, and that's helping him improve all of his stuff. But I really do like his excellent movement, speed, and feints. He's going to have the speed advantage in this fight for sure, and he's going to have the variety of strikes advantage. But Daniel Pineda, man, this dude is super tough. People don't give him a lot of credit. They say he gasses out, but he really doesn't gas out, man. He got beat up bad against Cub Swanson and knocked out, but he really didn't gas out. He just got beat up really bad. Here's a weird stat if you want to see it. Cub Swanson knocked him out, right, in 2020. But before that, besides getting stopped from a cut, and it was almost going into the third round against Georgie against George. I'm not saying the last name, against Georgie. But before that, if you go look, man, he had went to decision in 1, 2, 3, 4 out of his 5 fights before that. So the dude doesn't really gas out, and he doesn't really get finished. He is kill. He's killed, but I don't think or be killed, because if you go look, he's finished all of his fights. He's got 28 wins. He's got 28 finishes, 19 submissions, and 9 KOs. The dude's powerful. He's got powerful leg kicks. He's got good wrestling and really good BJJ. He's got savage ground and pound. I actually am not that low on his gas tank. You seen against Tucker Lutz, man. He got that guillotine deep into the second. And he had already tried for some submissions for about 50 seconds before that. I thought he was going to gas out his arms, but he didn't. And he has a really good cardio. He did get his butt whooped against Andrei, but the accidental eye poke, but he was getting beat up. But he's got excellent transitions and subs. He's got power in both hands, and he really goes for the finish at all times. This fight's really tough to call because, like I said, Pineda's finished all of his wins. And do I see him finishing Bruce Leroy? Not really, because he's really tough. But then Caceres, he's not really a finisher himself, so I don't know if he finishes Pineda, man. This is going to be a really, really, really good fight. I've been going back and forth on this for a while. I'm going to take Caceres. The only reason and I don't even want to, I actually want to bet Pineda, if I'm going to be honest, because I just think Pineda is going to be tougher, meaner, and can land some takedowns. If you go watch Caceres fight, Kevin Kroom, man, he was taken down by Kroom. He was held up against the cage for like, at least if it's a 15-minute fight, like 8 or 9 minutes. It's just when they were standing, he was getting the better shots. I'm going to say that he keeps this fight standing, and then he can look a little bit like Andrei, where he's going to be faster and just landing big shots from distance. But man, I'm really not that confident on him in this fight. And if the line went crazy and Daniel Pineda was like plus 180, I would take him, because I think he's a way better fighter than most people give him credit for. Next fight is the main event, man. We got Kai Kara France versus Amir Albazi. This is going to be a fire fight, man. Kai Kara France, 24-10, currently sitting at plus 100. It's about minus 110 now. 30 years old, 5'4" with a 66.5-inch reach. Amir Albazi, 16-1, currently sitting at minus 110. He's 29 years old, so they're about the same age. 5'5" with a 68-inch reach, so be 1 inch taller with 1.5 inches of reach. But you know, everybody's usually taller than Kai Kara France. Kai Kara France, man, training out of City Kickboxing with Ulberg and Brad Riddell. I don't know if he's fighting anymore. And you got Israel Adesanya, so you know his kickboxing is on point, man. He looked really good against Brandon Moreno in that last fight before he got finished with that crazy body kick in the 3rd round. But excellent kickboxing. He is super fast, man. He has super fast boxing, crazy power in both hands. He's got phenomenal leg kicks. He was tearing up Brandon Moreno's leg with the leg kicks, man. Super fast boxing, like I said, with KO power in both hands. He's got really good offensive and defensive wrestling and jiu-jitsu. You've seen against Askarov. He was taken down in the 1st round and he was controlled, but by the 2nd round, he was stopping all the takedowns. He was stopping the back takes and everything and landing some really big shots on Askarov. And he looked good, man. His cardio looked good and held up. You've seen him knock out Cody Garbrandt in spectacular fashion and then knock out Rogerio Bontoran in spectacular fashion. After Bontoran took him down, had him in some bad spots on the ground, he got up. He was a little tired, a little slow after all the grappling, and he was able to knock Bontoran out. Had a crazy fight with Brandon Royval where he had Royval hurt, Royval had him hurt, and they went to war, you know, and he ended up getting beat. But he is super good, dude. Like I said, well-rounded, has the experience advantage here. He's going to have the power advantage on the feet, and he may even have the wrestling advantage. It's weird because like Albazi, I've seen him get taken down by who was it? Z took him down. Z took him down and won the 1st round against him. But man, Albazi is really good. He's really well-rounded himself. He's got really good boxing with a really, really, really nice jab. He's got decent wrestling. It's not really, sometimes he can have decent timing on his double leg, like he did against Alessandro Costa, but that guy was on short notice and really not that good. But he was able to take him down, control him a little bit, and he was able to hit him with some really big uppercuts. Costa was kind of gassed, but he was able to drop him in the 2nd round with the 1-2 and then finish him in the 3rd. But he's looked good in most of his fights in the UFC, man. Malcolm Gordon, he was able to get that 1st round triangle choke. Z, that was a really good fight, but we know Z's a tough bastard, man. He fights well in every position, and he's just well-rounded, tough guy. Got Figueiredo out there early, and then got Costa out there early. But if you look at this, man, this dude has never fought anybody nowhere near close to Kai Kara-France or the people that Kai Kara-France has fought. Kai Kara-France, dude, was in there with Moreno, beating Moreno. He's got to win over Askarov, who is really good, who's got to win over Pantoja and a bunch of different people. This is going to be a really good fight because Albazi does have the better jiu-jitsu, but I don't know if he'll be able to get it to the ground like that. And then when he did wrestle really hard in the third round against Z, and then did control Z, landed a little bit of ground and pound, but when Z got up towards the end of the round, Albazi was really looking tired, mouth open, and Z actually put a couple nice shots on him right before the end of the fight. And both these guys, neither one, but Kai's been in a 5-round fight, but never went 5 rounds. So that's not really a big thing. I think they both got good cardio and toughness. But I'm taking Kai Kara-France here, man. I think he stops the wrestling. I think he stops the jiu-jitsu. I think it's a striking match, and it's a good striking match. But I'm going to favor Kai Kara-France there because he's the striker and not the grappler. And I think if he was stopping Askarov's takedowns and Moreno's takedowns like he was, he even landed a takedown on Moreno and controlled him. I think he can do the same thing with Amir. So give me Kai Kara-France. I don't know if he finishes him because Amir is super tough, can take damage, good cardio, all that. But I do like Kai Kara-France to land the harder shots and to get this win here, man, with powerful leg kicks. Because like I said, on the feet, Amir likes to box a lot, and he's going to be heavy on that lead leg. And I think his movement and speed is going to be too much here. So give me Kai Kara-France for the win. That was an excellent breakdown, man. I really had fun with that. Got the old Ice Cube shirt on here. I wish you could see it better in the thing. But, man, I really appreciate everybody hanging out with me for this breakdown, coming and checking out my stuff all the time, man. You guys are what keep me, like, doing this. Otherwise, I don't know if I would because it's so much work, man. But I appreciate everything. I hope everybody enjoys this video, man. Please hit that like. Please hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment, share on Twitter, all that stuff, man, because I appreciate you guys. So I will see you guys next week. You guys have a good weekend off, and I will see you guys.